Okay, Trish, you're from Edmonds?
I'm born and raised in Shawnee, but moved to Edmond for UCO.
Okay.
Been there ever since, graduated.
Okay, introduce everybody.
Chris Butcher, he was basically helped with all the setup and special effects. Stacy, you know who she is. Todd, he did all the soundtrack, the music, he did all that himself, so he's in a bunch of bands if you want to know. But first question gets a Cinema Course poster. They don't count.
Come on, somebody ask a question.
Can I have a Cinema Course poster? How long do you shoot?
One day. That's my podcast, Cinema Corpse. You notice that the actor couldn't be here today, but his podcast was called Corpse Lab because it's kind of a mix between my podcast, Cinema Corpse, and he's on Cadaver Lab podcast, which is probably in the top 3 horror podcasts on iTunes. So he lives in Oklahoma as well, so they kind of Skype through a guy in Utah, so that's how they do their podcast. This is also part of a horror sci-fi series that we're going to be putting on local cable, probably Cox 3, have a horror host and stuff, and later we're going to do about 8 or 12 episodes, but they're probably going to have to be edited for Cox because they're probably going to get a little more gross than that one.
Could you tell me what the name of the movie is where the lady's head is just the head? I know it's...
I think it's the
head that wouldn't, the brain that would,
yeah, the brain that wouldn't die.
The brain that wouldn't die.
The brain that wouldn't die?
Yeah, it's public domain. You can find it on the archive.
That's what you about when I was little. I remember that movie. I said, you took me to
Yeah.
I thought it was really neat the way they did the interview after the documentary, but people just have to put music behind the interview because usually typically you don't have it.
Well, I usually do, like I do a lot of documentaries and I'll usually have some mood music, but this time, you know, I was like, I gotta spice this up somehow because the ending's kind of, you know, it can't be too boring, so I got Todd to do all the music for it. I think it's a nice, weird, eclectic mix, so.
No, a lot of that music is just a lot of material just built up that I kind of zombied together and composed some new stuff. And like the ending scene, I held a Yamaha DX7 keyboard to do all those sounds and things. And yeah, I just put it together with the scenes that Chris gave me.
The movie without the soundtrack is completely different than whenever you put the soundtrack. Because I was watching it and I was like, I like the editing, but it needs something. And yeah. He let some hints of like the hamburgers, he kind of echoed it and stuff. So subtle hints in there.
What other projects have you worked on? Your name sounds really familiar.
I premiered, well I didn't premiere, but I showed a film here last year called Looked Over But Never Overlooked about 2 little people, Native American gospel rappers.
Oh, the Mikey.
Little Mikey
Photo. Yeah. That's so cool. So you're from Oklahoma, obviously. Like, are you planning on staying here and trying to do your own film thing here, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself. You know, you're from Oklahoma. It's really good to build up the Oklahoma film base.
Yeah.
especially going to groups in the city. But now I have a job that I can't really go to the groups as often, so disappointing. But
Any other questions?
How do you think the podcasting community is going to react to your film?
there is a lot of drama. Like,
There is.
if anyone listens to, especially horror podcasts, there's a lot of bickering between them. Like, you know, someone will say something like subliminally or straight out to another one, and you know they'll be talking crap about each other on podcasts. So hopefully this.
So will you be setting them screeners
Put them
for
in
review?
their place.
Definitely should.
Yeah, it'll be online, so they'll definitely see it. Hopefully they review it and say it sucks or something. But yeah, I have little cards or stickers if you want to find my podcast. I go around to all these festivals and film myself being done. Show trailers, whatever.
I like how you ended it with a little fictional drama of its own. But,
Yeah.
Are you at all interested in going in that direction as well? Or?
Yeah, all the rest of the episodes are going to be just balls out horror movies. But basically, the story is real, but it's about me, told through him, because he runs his podcast totally different than mine. But since I was the director, I really didn't want to act in it. So everything he's saying about my podcast, because he doesn't have guests in person on his show. He has like Skype. So, and this guy's been on my show before. All right.
All right, Rich Combs.